Or if one of the most interesting foods in your kitchen isn't some exotic superfood, but a small, ordinary bulb sitting quietly on your countertop. Garlic has been used by humans for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations valued it as both food and traditional medicine, and even today, millions of people add it to their meals every day. But what actually happens inside your body when you eat garlic regularly? Does it really support your immune system? Could it affect your heart and blood pressure? And is eating garlic every day actually as beneficial as people claim? There's also something about garlic that most people don't know. The way you prepare it can actually change some of the compounds it contains. So if you've ever wondered whether eating garlic every day is genuinely worth it, or whether its reputation has grown beyond what science can support, let's take a closer look. When you bite into a raw clove of garlic, you're immediately hit with that intense flavor and unmistakable smell. But that powerful reaction isn't just random. Garlic contains sulfur-containing compounds, and one of the most well-known is allicin. Here's where things get interesting. Allicin isn't simply sitting inside an intact garlic clove, waiting for you to eat it. When garlic is chopped or crushed, a chemical reaction takes place that helps produce allicin. This is one reason garlic becomes so aromatic and pungent after you cut into it. Researchers have become particularly interested in these sulfur compounds because they may contribute to some of the biological effects associated with garlic. But there's an important detail. The amount and activity of these compounds can depend on how garlic is prepared and cooked. When garlic is crushed or chopped, an enzyme called alliinase helps convert compounds in the garlic into allicin. But heat can affect this enzyme, meaning the way you cook garlic may influence how much allicin is ultimately formed. This doesn't mean cooked garlic is bad, or that you need to eat raw garlic to get any benefits. Garlic is still a useful ingredient when added to everyday meals. But if you want to encourage the formation of allicin, some research suggests that crushing or chopping garlic, and allowing it to sit for a short period before cooking may help. It's a small detail, but it completely changes the way you might think about that ordinary clove sitting in your kitchen. And this is where garlic gets really interesting. Because researchers aren't just studying its flavor or its history, they're investigating what some of its compounds may actually do inside the body. If you enjoy discovering the science behind everyday foods and natural remedies, this is exactly what we explore here at Earth Cures. So consider subscribing, because there's a lot more to uncover. Now, let's look at one of the areas where garlic has received the most attention: your heart and cardiovascular health. Some studies suggest that garlic consumption may have modest effects on certain cardiovascular risk factors, including blood pressure and cholesterol levels. For people with elevated blood pressure, research involving certain garlic preparations, particularly aged garlic extract and standardized supplements, has found potential reductions in blood pressure. But there's an important distinction. This doesn't mean that eating a clove of garlic every morning will automatically lower your blood pressure or prevent heart disease. The effects seen in research can vary depending on the type of garlic product, the amount consumed, and the individual. Garlic should never be considered a replacement for prescribed medication or medical care. Still, the research is interesting. Garlic has also built a reputation for supporting the immune system. You've probably heard someone recommend garlic when they feel a cold coming on. But does science actually support the idea? The answer isn't as simple as saying garlic prevents illness. Some research suggests that garlic and its sulfur-containing compounds may influence certain aspects of immune function, and may have antimicrobial properties. But the evidence is mixed, and the research isn't strong enough to say that eating garlic will prevent you from getting sick. What we can say is that garlic contains biologically active compounds that researchers are genuinely interested in. So rather than thinking of garlic as a magical shield against illness, it's better to see it as one small part of a diet that supports overall health. Because when it comes to your immune system, no single food does all the work. Your overall diet, sleep, physical activity, and other lifestyle factors all play a role. And this is something worth remembering throughout this video. Garlic can be interesting. Garlic can be beneficial. But garlic is not magic. So what happens when you actually make it a regular part of your diet? The first thing to understand is that you probably won't wake up after a few days feeling dramatically different. Garlic isn't a stimulant, and it's not a quick fix. Its potential effects are much more subtle. When you eat garlic regularly, you're consistently introducing sulfur-containing compounds and other plant compounds into your diet. Over time, these compounds may interact with different processes in the body. But the results aren't universal, and many studies have used concentrated garlic supplements rather than the small amounts typically used in everyday cooking. That distinction is important. Adding garlic to your meals can be a healthy habit for many people, but it doesn't mean that eating more and more garlic will automatically produce greater health benefits. In fact, one of the most practical benefits of garlic may simply be that it makes healthy food more enjoyable. Think about it. A plate of vegetables might seem ordinary on its own, but add garlic, herbs, olive oil, and a little seasoning, and suddenly you're more likely to enjoy eating those vegetables. And that matters. Because a healthy diet isn't built around one magical ingredient. It's built around the foods you consistently choose to eat. Garlic can be one small ingredient that makes the entire pattern of your diet better. Another area researchers have investigated is blood sugar. Some studies have suggested that garlic and certain garlic preparations may have a modest effect on blood glucose levels, particularly in people with diabetes or elevated blood sugar. And that's really where garlic makes the most sense, not as a miracle solution, but as one small piece of a much bigger picture. Here's something else that's interesting about garlic. It contains compounds that can interact with the microorganisms living inside your digestive system. In simple terms, garlic may help support the environment where some helpful bacteria can thrive. But there's an important catch. The same compounds that may be beneficial for some people can cause digestive discomfort in others. If you've ever eaten a lot of garlic and experienced bloating, gas, or stomach discomfort, you're definitely not alone. Garlic contains compounds known as fructans, which can be difficult for some people to digest. For people with certain digestive sensitivities, garlic can be a significant trigger. So while one person might enjoy garlic every day without a problem, another person may find that even a small amount causes discomfort. And this brings us to a side of garlic that doesn't get nearly as much attention: the potential downsides. The most obvious downside is the smell. Some sulfur-containing compounds can remain in your mouth and may also be absorbed into the bloodstream, contributing to the smell that can linger long after you've finished eating. But bad breath isn't the only potential issue. Eating large amounts of garlic, especially raw garlic, can cause heartburn, stomach irritation, nausea, or digestive discomfort in some people. And garlic supplements are a different story altogether. Concentrated supplements can provide much larger amounts of certain compounds than you typically get from using garlic as a cooking ingredient. Some garlic supplements may also interact with medications, particularly those that affect blood clotting. That's why anyone taking medications regularly, especially blood thinners, or anyone preparing for surgery, should talk with a healthcare professional before using concentrated garlic supplements. For most healthy people, however, adding a reasonable amount of garlic to everyday meals is generally considered safe. But if you're going to eat garlic regularly, should you eat it raw? Or is cooked garlic just as good? Raw garlic tends to have a much stronger flavor and aroma, partly because crushing or chopping it triggers the chemical reactions that produce compounds such as allicin. But cooking changes those reactions. High heat can reduce the activity of the enzyme involved in producing allicin. So does that mean cooked garlic is useless? Absolutely not. Garlic still contains other beneficial compounds, and cooking makes it much easier to enjoy as part of a balanced meal. If you want to make the most of garlic's chemistry, one approach is to chop or crush it and let it sit for a short period before cooking. This may give the chemical reaction more time to take place before heat is introduced. But don't let the science turn cooking garlic into a complicated ritual. The most important thing is that you actually enjoy eating it. Because the healthiest garlic is the garlic that fits naturally into a diet you can maintain. So, if garlic has all these interesting properties, should you actually eat it every day? Here's my honest answer. If you enjoyed garlic and it agrees with your body, there's no reason most healthy people can't include it regularly in their diet. It can add flavor to vegetables, soups, sauces, grains, fish, meat, and countless other meals. It contains interesting plant compounds that scientists continue to study. So what happens if you eat garlic every day? The answer is less dramatic and more interesting than you might expect. You won't suddenly become healthier overnight, but you may be adding a food with biologically active compounds to your diet, while also making healthy meals more flavorful and enjoyable. Garlic's potential benefits are promising in certain areas, particularly cardiovascular health. But the research is still evolving and the evidence isn't strong enough to call garlic a miracle medicine. The way you prepare it may also influence some of its compounds. And for some people, eating too much can lead to digestive problems or other unwanted effects. So, should you eat garlic every day? If you enjoy it and it agrees with your body, adding it regularly to a balanced diet is a perfectly reasonable choice. Just remember that your health is never determined by one ingredient. It's shaped by the thousands of small decisions you make over time, the meals you eat, the way you move, the quality of your sleep, and the habits you repeat when nobody is watching. That's the real lesson behind garlic. Sometimes, the most interesting health discoveries aren't found in exotic supplements or expensive products. They're hiding in the ordinary foods we've been eating all along. If you enjoyed discovering the science behind garlic, subscribe to Earth Cures, because next, we're taking a closer look at another everyday food that has been surrounded by health claims for generations.